I thought I should give out my own opinion and thoughts about the whole situation of artificial intelligence and the American society in general. I believe most individuals are more focused on the jobs which are going to be destroyed if this thing known as artificial intelligence turns out to be a success, which is a serious topic, and most individuals need to focus their energy towards that objective or towards that discussion. But I believe there is also another alternative which most individuals tend to ignore, as if this whole idea of artificial intelligence is something which is already a success. Why am I saying that? I have read a brief history of all the market bubbles which have happened, and they ended up destroying a lot of livelihoods. Whether it's the tulip mania, which happened in Holland in 1732, I believe that is the right time. Whether it is not 1732, but it was around 1632, and the 1732 situation was the whole issue of the South Sea bubble, and we have another kind of a market mania or a market bust which was related to France, and this was about the Weber money. So that was two kind of situations which were catastrophic during that time. And during the 1929 is the one which is, I believe, the recent, which had a lot of damages to the livelihoods and also destroyed a lot of beliefs which people had, which were related to investing. And then we had the something like the tech mania of 1970, 1966 to 1972, where individuals also were destroyed in terms of their resources. Various companies which had a lot of hype went under, and this led a lot of individuals losing money in their stock market. And then we had the tech bubble, and then the internet bubble during the 1999 to 2000 period or time frame. And finally, we had another real estate bubble, which or depression, which happened during the 2007 and 2008 time frame. And what is common among these two, among these a lot of kind of depressions or bubbles which have happened over this time frame, is that the livelihoods, people's lives were destroyed during these situations. And what we need to understand is that most people who invested in these kind of investment schemes, or we can go ahead and say pyramid schemes, they thought that things would go ahead and work out okay. People never believed, for example, in the 1929 depression, that probably those companies which they were invested in may end up collapsing. And I believe that is something which should be accepted as what we are experiencing now when it comes to the tech bubble, or the artificial intelligence kind of a bubble or an idea. Most individuals who are interested in investing in these artificial intelligence investments, they believe that this is going to be a life-changing moment. As in 1929 timeframe, individuals didn't even see a reason to go ahead and work, yet they can make money just by making some few investment in the stock market, because their investments tended to grow now and again. Most individuals were excited to make money even without working. That's why you see the likes of Kevin O'Reilly. He is kind of excited to invest more than 100 billion US dollars in Utah. I believe there are those individuals who are against this idea, because there are going to be a lot of repercussions if this industry or a data center is established in Utah. We understand there are negative effects, for example, the amount of energy it's going to consume, the amount of water it's going to consume in the surrounding environment. Even individuals do fear that it's going to drain the lake which is in Utah. And also we need to understand that there are going to be a lot of individuals who are going to be displaced in order to have these 40,000 acres of land. we also need to realize that it is going to require two times the amount of electricity which is now used in Utah. At the same time, there is going to be a lot of noise around the environment which this industry is going to be constructed. Those are relative kind of how can I say, those are relative questions, or those are serious questions, not actually relative questions, but those are serious questions which the surrounding community and the country in general of the United States should be concerned. But what if those individuals who are going to make a lot of investments towards these schemes, if these schemes don't go ahead and fulfill what these individuals were promised? Have you not seen that there are going to be a lot of individuals who their livelihoods, who their savings is going to be destroyed in this kind of investment vehicles? Even if artificial intelligence goes ahead and works, it's not all the companies which are doing this work which are going out to be successful. There's kind of a normal phrase where they say that in one successive Microsoft, there were other companies which never saw the light of the day. In an Amazon which you're observing, there were a lot of Amazons which never saw the light of the day. So I believe all the companies which are associated with this idea of artificial intelligence, artificial data centers, it's not all these companies which are going to emerge as a success. I believe most of them are going to be a disaster to most investors, and that is the situation which most people have not ready or are not ready to address, and something which most individuals need to be kind of worried about is that don't there's no person who is going to tell you that probably most of these industries are going to work. No journalist is going to say that, because the investment firms do really depend on these journalists, and also these journalists do depend on these investment firms. So it's for you as an individual to have the right amount of discernment, if that's the right phrase to use, in order to realize that there are going to be a lot of investment schemes which are going to emerge as data centers, which are likely going to be a disaster, and they are not going to make anything of use to the innovation which we are talking about. And maybe this innovation which we are talking about is just another purple, which is a bizarre tulip mania, which individuals will come to the in the future and realize that it was complete bullshit, which is not going to make any change in the human race. Anyway, I would like your thoughts in the comment section. What are your thoughts when it comes to the artificial intelligence? Are you seeing any kind of a scam which is actually being enticed by the old group, and there is not going to be something of benefit out of this old scenario? I like your thoughts. Share, like, subscribe. See you in my next one.